Becky, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do a quick read for you, but first I'm going to talk a little bit more about metallic rays. It says the silver ray is feminine, yin in nature, soothing and comforting. It relates to the lunar energies of Archangel, I think it's Auriel, and the angels of the moon. The silver ray allows us to see ourselves in a different light. It illuminates and reflects energy. It is fluid, soft, yielding, and a natural tranquilizer. The silver ray helps to balance the fluid functions of the body as well as the female hormones. This ray also governs the feminine right side of the brain. It helps you use your intuition and analyze your feelings and instincts. Oh, that was a cat that just ran past us. Okay. Gold ray, powerful and masculine yang in nature. The gold ray relates to the energy of the sun and solar angels. The sun has some positive physiological effects on humans, making us feel happy and positive when we are exposed to it. This ray clears parasitic energies and stops unwanted outside energy from influencing us, allowing us to remain beyond corruption. It also helps with masculine left brain situations where logic and systematic thought processes are required and helps us take appropriate action. The copper ray is very feminine in nature, but in a different way from silver. The copper ray is the dynamic, vigorous, primal aspect of the feminine psyche. It carries the energies of renewal, creativity, birth, and the female womb. The copper ray allows us to bring our dreams and desires to reality, especially if we tune in to the energy of the Great Earth Mother or the Grandmother energy. It holds ancient memories and creative power beyond our limited human understanding. It helps us to make life-changing decisions that make our dreams a reality. And then we have the platinum ray, masculine in nature, but in a different way from gold. The platinum ray brings healing to the male aspect of our personality. It helps overcome anger and aggression and releases pent-up fiery emotions. It transmutes competitive aggression into peaceful cooperation. The platinum ray is very piercing, penetrating, focused, and pristine. It can reflect aggressive, negative energy back to its source and exposes the untrue. It is very cleansing to the human energy system and the environment, giving us the skills required to flourish in the storm of chaos. So we have the meditation on the moon and moon in harmony. The focus and the purpose is to harmonize the male and female aspects, balancing the right and left brain hemispheres to activate the fourth eye chakra. So this meditation can appear complicated as you have a focus first on the sacral chakra, then move the energy you have created, your life force, up to the spiritual spine, which are subtle energy channel, which runs from your perineum up to the top of your head into the fourth eye chakra, which is situated on your forehead just above your third eye chakra. So here you visualize a full silver moon disc over your left eye and a golden sun disc over your right eye. Silver ray relates to the lunar energies of Archangel Auriel and angels of the moon, while golden ray relates to the energy of Archangel Camiel and other solar energies. All right. So how to do this practice? It says invoke Archangel Camiel and Auriel for blessings and protection. Sit in a comfortable, steady meditation posture. Focus your attention on your sacral chakra, your pelvis, and with each breath inward, imagine or feel your sacral chakra filling with life force energy. As you inhale, breathe deeply, drawing the breath into the belly by expanding and pushing out the muscles. As you exhale, pull in the lower abdomen. Once you have built up this energy, it should look and feel like an inflated orange balloon. Use the power of your intent, your will, to allow the energy to spiral upward to your third eye chakra. Keep your focused intent on your third eye chakra and become aware of the fourth eye chakra. Visualize or see a silver lunar disc over your physical left eye and a golden solar disc over your physical right eye. Allow these two discs to harmonize and balance, and as they do, they transform into one central disc, the color of white gold, in position on your fourth eye chakra. Stay with this harmonious energy for as long as you like. To finish the meditation, allow the harmonious energy that you've created to flow through all your subtle energy channels and your aura to cleanse and purify. Allow yourself some time to return to everyday awareness. So we'll talk about some more meditations in the next videos. When I went by the donation box for books, I came across this one that I'm going to add to my list. It is called The Book of Fates. So that one caught my eye, so I thought I'd share that with you. All right, let me tell you a little bit about some stories, some songs, and some downloads. So I drove by the shelter that I used to get some help from, and I had kind of a surreal moment. The universe truly does not like voids and loves repeating patterns. So, and I'm a creature of habit. I went ahead and decided that I was just going to drive by. I've been going through like other areas where I grew up and houses that I've lived in, and kind of doing this whole like ceremonial cleansing and purging of the past. So I went ahead and drove by, and what shocked me was I had to do a double take because parked in the spot that I was normally parking in was a vehicle that was identical to my vehicle. Same color and everything, same make, same model. So of course I'm just like, I started laughing. I was like, of course, God wanted me to know that life is always cyclical, right? And then once I was healed and moved on, somebody else needed that spot for them to come in to get the healing they need to move on in their journey as well. All right. Then I heard on the radio was the DJ was talking about this. Said, for me, I really don't really care for technology. I become addicted to it just because, I get bored and like my collective. But now I'm learning new things, and so now I'm breaking that habit. Plus I'm working like 12-hour days lately. So we cling to familiar people from our past, and we never really get to truly experience the joy of meeting new people and hearing their life stories. So every person that I meet has had such interesting lives that I enjoy the conversations. In fact, I enjoy it better than watching TV, right? I used to say I couldn't watch like those talk shows where they bring the people on to talk about their drama. I'm like, all you gotta do is talk to the neighbors. You just gotta go to church and talk to the people there. You don't really need a TV show to hear about drama. Well, there are so many missed moments for people to share their stories, and the one that they talked about on the radio station was that one of the DJs had gone to the hospital and was sitting in the waiting room and noticed how quiet it was because everybody in there was staring at their phones. But they noticed there was this little boy that went over to this older gentleman and just simply asked, "What are you doing?" And it led to that gentleman putting his phone away and having this really precious conversation with this little boy. And they talked about like dinosaurs and cookies, and it was just a very tender moment. And I just want to encourage people to purposely practice being present. God often speaks to us in the quiet moments, but in today's culture, we're all so distracted from hearing God speaking to us. And the archangels, they've got sense of humors. And so when you start to really tap into their realm and connecting with them, you'll see just how destructive the Western culture can be. So I'd like you to consider ways that you can pay more attention to God by being in the moment. Okay? I had gone and was sitting in a little park by the library and noticed there was a woman that was walking her two dogs, and so she seemed pretty sad. So I went ahead and talked with her, and she, shared with me how the dogs were aging, and she's had them since she got out of high school, and one dog was going to have its teeth pulled. And you just get to have these precious conversations with human beings that really, need to have those type of conversations and get that warmth from another human. Then after I had done my video yesterday, I had finished recording, and then I came up the stairs at the nature preserve, and I was like, oh, I saw there was a woman there that was in a wheelchair, and it looked like it was her daughter that was with her, and they were trying to enjoy peace and quiet and the weather, and here I am blabbing away, doing my video. And so I got out of my car because I had gotten in my car before I saw them. So I grabbed a piece of clear quartz, and I went over there and apologized. I'm like, you're sitting here trying to enjoy this beautiful day, and I'm over there just blabbing away. And they both chuckled, and they're like, we actually didn't even hear you, because they were so engrossed in their own thing. So then I gave them the gift of the quartz and told them a little bit about it, and it was just a nice little exchange. It doesn't have to be this long, lengthy thing. It can just be something short and sweet. Then this morning, I had noticed when I was driving that there was men that were walking alone and the women walking dogs. And I was just like, how sad that our society has become so disconnected. And they all looked miserable. I mean, they were all peaceful, but you could just tell they all looked lonely. And I heard one lady talking to her dog, a little baby, and it was just I really wish I could create an environment where men and women can reconnect with each other, just on a pure level, where we can all get to where we can have healthier relationships. And a visual that the archangels gave me was that of, who was it? Roger and Anita from 101 Dalmatians, where they're both walking their dogs in the park when they first meet, and how it is this whole little chaotic little thing, but then they end up becoming friends, and then they end up, of course, getting married. So just, you never know who you're going to meet, and what meeting that person can change your life. And if you're just sitting there staring at a screen, then you miss that opportunity. Okay, and then went to the chiropractor yesterday morning, and when I was at the chiropractor, I was doing this TENS unit, which sends electricity through the lower spine, which is actually very relieving. But I was chuckling because the music that he was playing, it was a CD, it was just so random, so it had to have been from the 50s or something. Because it was just random. So it starts off, the first song that it was playing was the Pink Panther theme song. So then it switches over to Moon River. And then the last song that I heard before my treatment was over was the Elvis version of my ex-husband and I's song from when we got married. So we had a song, and it was Can't Help Falling in Love. This song on the CD was the Elvis version. Our version was the UB40 version. But I was like, oh my goodness. Now, our divorce was very messy. First high school sweethearts. Neither of us really had dated anyone, so it was just me and him. And then for 10 years, it was a roller coaster of power struggles and toxicity. So the divorce was very messy, and I ended up having to get a restraining order and stuff. But we've always had unconditional love, because once you marry somebody, you're bonded on the soul level. So there's always a psychic connection to the person. And I heard a comedian talk about, as much sex as you have with somebody, well, their DNA is now inside of you, and you've absorbed their DNA. So he and I definitely have a connection that will never die, but it's definitely one that cannot be revived. And I know that he had held on to the belief that someday we'd get back together again. Now, it's it's been 22 years, and he's now remarried and moved on in his life. But I think now we're at a point where we can actually respect each other on a level that we couldn't ever do before. So I think that was him psychically sending me that song to let me know that he's finally finding peace in the separation and knowing that what we had was necessary for us and our spiritual growth, and for us to have these beautiful children that are now amazing adults, but that didn't mean that we had to spend our lives together. All right, so let me go ahead and and so the Pink Panther, then I had my mother come in when I got out to the car. My mother jumped in to sternly tell me to stop playing Nancy Drew in the spirit realm and for me to take care of my little sister. And I was like, she's healing and grieving, I'm healing and grieving, it's gonna be okay. Then I had a message, which I think was from my divine counterpart. I could be wrong, but I got the telepathic message of, who knew that the real divine feminine was Princess Vespa from the movie Spaceballs? So he's referring to me, because when we first met, I was like this runaway bride that was just like angry that I was supposed to marry someone who was a complete idiot. And so I think that this guy was teasing me again, because there's a scene in Spaceballs where the guy like rescues Princess Vespa and pulls her on, and she's just like a biatch, and I think our first interaction was that. So then I think he was teasing me again, because then I channeled the song Little Miss Can't Be Wrong by the Spin Doctors. Here's the lyrics. It's been a whole lot easier since the bitch left town. It's been a whole lot happier without her face around. Nobody upstairs gonna stomp and shout. Nobody at the back door gonna throw my laundry out. She had the shotgun while you do-si-do. This could have actually been my ex-husband sending me this one too, I don't know. She want one man made of Hercules and Cyrano. Been a whole lot easier since the bitch is gone. Little miss, little miss, little miss can't be wrong. What you gonna do to get into another one of these now rock and roll songs? Other people's thoughts, they ain't your hand-me-downs. Would it be so bad to simply turn around? You cook so well, all nice and French, but you do your brain surgery too, mama, with your monkey wrench. Because sometimes women, we think that we're right and we're really not. So sometimes we need a little humbling. Then I got the song, this one I think was from my grandparents, that I actually lived with my dad. Because they were tent revivalists in Pentecostal, and they were blue collar. My grandfather worked in the steel mill, and they were just salt of the earth people. So my grandparents wanted me to remind myself not to get too big for my britches, and I better get back to reading my Bible every day. No excuses. So that was my papa, I know it. And then my granny gave me the song, The Man on the Middle Cross by Rhett Walker. It says, I heard the preacher talking about 3 wooden crosses upon a hill for everyone to see. 2 sinners on the outside couldn't save themselves if they tried. All I could think is, man, that sounds like me. I've been the one on the left, full of guilt and regret, long gone on the wrong side of living. I've been the one on the right, always looking for a fight, thinking I could never be forgiven. I'm standing here today, overwhelmed by grace, 'cause I know who paid my cost. Thank you, God, for the man on the middle cross. He didn't have to do it, but for me, he went through it. A love like that I'll never understand. Lord knows I don't deserve it, and I couldn't earn it. Let mercy rain down on this desperate man. The cross is where he went, oh, but that's not where he stayed. He brought me back to life when he rose up out of that grave. And I'll see Jesus face to face. I'll worship and adore him for a life forever changed. Ooh, the hairs on my arms just stood up. Okay, I'm running out of time because I gotta get to work. So I did my journaling for, let's see what it was, day 14. So there was the layout. And it says, general energies for my soul's purpose are spiritual awakening, absolution, and life-changing transitions. It represents a cosmic wake-up, urging me to evaluate past actions, release self-limiting beliefs, and embrace a major rebirth. My current position on my soul's path is ultimate completion, achievement, and fulfillment. It represents reaching a major milestone successfully, closing out a long-term chapter, and integrating the spiritual lessons learned along my journey. Next, I had inside influences that are blocking my progress are postponed milestones and a disruption to celebration. This card warns of a rocky foundation, family conflict, or a need to outgrow stagnant social circles. Where can I find help and guidance? Well, this card came out sideways, which means I'm feeling overwhelmed, defensive, or fighting battles that just aren't worth the energy. It's time to stop pushing so hard and release unnecessary stress. The important messages from my spirit guides were to make swift movements and represents rapid progress as well as clear communication. It signals that previously stalled situations are suddenly taking off. Yay! Also, possibly a whirlwind romance is developing, and I should receive important news that is heading my way, and I should expect things to move quickly. Next was the important messages from my angels are to prepare for a celebration, a homecoming, and stability. It represents the satisfying completion of a huge accomplishment, and after this pause, I'll be enjoying the fruits of my labor. This card signifies harmony, community, and laying a secure foundation, which is why I had to lay down Homans Consulting LLC, do this healing work, and now I'm going to be switching gears from consulting to coaching, and then I'll have my firm foundation. So, next significant event concerning my soul's journey is celebration, community, and joyful connection. It signifies happy gatherings with friends or chosen family and shared successes. It lets me know that I'll be experiencing the comfort of being surrounded by people who genuinely support me. This is my green light to socialize, collaborate, and enjoy life. And let me take a couple of cards. Let's see what the Ascended Masters from the Keepers of the Light want to tell us. All right. Who pops out is Faith, Humanity, and Benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, and see the lights in the world. Sometimes it can be really easy to focus on the darkness, and we want to call out the light in people instead of focus on the darkness. Because we all have both light and dark in us, and depending on situations, what comes out. Working your light. So let's see what advice we've got about working our light. We've got the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits and soul tribe. Oh, such beautiful confirmations. I want everybody to be able to experience this. All right, let me get a couple of messages from my ancestors. Then I'm gonna have to get going. I just heard do a love reading, and don't forget Archangel Raphael. So, oh, I just got 2 jacks that pop out. Those are usually pages, and they usually are messengers. And then I just heard the spin doctors. You got 2 princes before you. Interesting. And now I got the Queen of Hearts. Play with the Queen of Hearts. I know that it works smart. The Joker is the only fool to keep me away from you. I think that's the word. Okay, we've got the Jack of Spades, which are sports, and it says that he is vigilant and truthful, has mental energy, takes action, clever, quick learner, ambitious person, a student, reasoning, blunt communication, intellect, caution, uncovering secrets, a potential for success. And then we have the Jack of Clubs, which is wands, and it says this one is passionate, enthusiasm for a project, a fresh approach, a new creative idea, practicality and learning, and youthful energies. And then the Queen of Hearts, which is the cups, and it is intuition, love and compassion, empathy, inner healing, self-love, creativity, mothering instinct, and emotional nurturing. So interesting. I know in another video I had a thing about having options for divine masculine, who could be my counterpart, and I had another reading that said I'd be in a love triangle, which I don't like those, but back into the dating world, you know, I guess I get to meet some different people and, you know, see what happens. All right, let's get our message from the Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle. And I'm probably gonna be late for work, so, well, I only got 2 more days on this job, and then I switched to another one, so it's not the right attitude, young lady. I know, I hear you, Granny. Okay. Consult a nutritionist, and I've had this one before. Dear Archangel Raphael, I turn my eating over to you and ask you to guide me to foods and beverages that taste good, are fulfilling, and support my ideal health and weight. So, still working on the nutrition. It's hard when everything that they have in the stores here are toxic. So, I'm just like, all right, I spend more time drinking protein drinks than I do eating, and when I eat, I usually just kind of get a free meal at work, so I will pay more attention to what I'm eating and drinking, and I need more water. We all need more water. So, well, I'm just so grateful you're here. Thank you for the support, and hopefully you are finding these enlightening, uplifting, motivating, and the light in me honors and respects the light in you, and I hope you have a blessed day.